What's the result after 7 hours of talks?
Well, look, I invited representatives from the Apollo House campaign to discussions this evening. And I think we had a good and frank discussion, to be honest, a broad-ranging discussion around homelessness and housing. My focus is and has been this evening on the needs of homeless people that are in Apollo House now. So that we can try and manage an orderly transition of those people into other suitable accommodation in the coming days, and we'll continue to talk to and work with those in Apollo House to try and finalise that. There are a number of issues that we didn't get final agreement on this evening, but nothing fundamental, I don't think. So look, we'll keep talking to people in Apollo House in the coming days. And I'm hopeful that by the middle of next week we'll be able to comply with the court ruling in relation to vacating Apollo House.
And why wasn't agreement reached? What is the problem about finding accommodation for people in Apollo House?
No, well, there's no problem at all with that. We now have sufficient space to accommodate everybody. In fact, we have another 50 beds or so coming on stream next week, so there will be plenty of accommodation available. That's not the issue. I think there were some issues in relation to policy statements that were going to come from the meeting and the discussion and the engagement this evening, there wasn't final agreement on the wording of those policy statements. But I don't think there's anything fundamental that there was a disagreement on. My job is that I have a responsibility to every homeless person in the country. Not just in Apollo House. We need to provide services and supports to transition people from homelessness into permanent housing over time, and we're determined to do that. And I outlined what the government is doing. We're committed to spending over €5 billion on a social housing build and acquisition programme over the next 5 years. Homelessness, as I've said for many, many months now, is a big priority for me, and we want to work with everybody, including the Home Sweet Home campaign, to make sure that we put supports and solutions in place for people who are vulnerable and are leading, in some cases, chaotic lives, and we're going to do that, and I hope we can work with those in Apollo House to make sure that we do that for them also.
Could you give us an example of maybe some of the areas where there was agreement?
Oh, look, there was a lot of agreement that that this is an area that needs to be prioritised in government, and I don't think, certainly since I've been in charge and my predecessor, there has been a big priority around ending homelessness, both for families and for individual rough sleepers, ensuring that we have sufficient and good quality emergency accommodation. We haven't had in the past enough of that. I think we do have now, but we are committed actually to adding another 2 emergency accommodation units within the next few months, because we want to make sure that there is no question about capacity in terms of homeless people, so that nobody should have to face the decision to sleep in the streets at night, that there would be safe, good quality, supported accommodation for everyone. And we've already opened 3 new hostels in the last number of weeks, and we're going to open another 2 in the next 2 months or so. So I think there was a lot of agreement around that, and I think that the people who are involved in this campaign are very genuine about what they're trying to do, and so I'm anxious to work with them. And and I think in the coming days, we will achieve agreement about the need to transfer people to alternative accommodation, taking account of their short-term and long-term needs in terms of the supports that they need as homeless people. But look, tonight actually I think was a good step forward. It was a good discussion. People were frank and forthright, which is the way I like it. There was a lot of discussion around government policy, government priorities. And I reinforced the point that we are committed, both from a housing perspective and a homelessness perspective, to make a big difference in a short period of time. We've got the resources and the policy to do that now. And I hope we'll be able to work with the Home Sweet Home campaign and a lot of other campaigns that want to see a lot more houses provided, both social housing and affordable private housing. But actually, most importantly of all, I want to see supports in place for homeless people, so that we see a dramatic reduction in the number of rough sleepers who are in a vulnerable position, and of course that we see a dramatic reduction in the number of families that are homeless as well.